Greetings, crafters, and welcome to episode 95 of Better Than Wolves with T-Kush35. I believe I said I'd be back when I was ready to start my adventure back to the villager base. However, I wanted to show the excitement of a nearly completed bookshelf system, which can get me level 14 enchantments. Efficiency 3 is pretty good. It's definitely not stupendous. I would have wanted unbreaking or something like that, but that'll have to do. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and dismantle this before I head out. Gonna wait until morning, obviously. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and leave all these iron things here, or maybe I'll bring them with. I don't know. I'm definitely bringing the gold and iron ingots. I'm gonna leave one enchantment table in the event that I end up making one here. No, that's not true. I'm gonna bring this. Who am I kidding? I'm not going to end up using that properly. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the adventure in the morning, and then we will begin the journey back home, hopefully that way. So, see you then. Alrighty, skeletons and zombies are burning. I have some food in my inventory. We have jeepers. Creeper trying to explode. Gosh. We're just going to run away. And let's see, if the portal's that way, and I went pretty much there from home, that means I think I need to go at a slight angle to get back to my original base. So what I'm going to do for tracking purposes is just set up pillars that point back towards this village. Now my biggest hope is that I can make this journey relatively easily, and then hopefully find some sort of feasible take the villagers along this path sort of deal. It's gonna be a hassle no matter what I do, I think. The biggest... Oh my gosh, that's a pink sheep. Are you worth trying to capture? Probably. So I'm gonna go over here. Shove that darn sheep in this hole. Apparently the dog's gonna be stuck in it too. This is fine. Anyway, I'm gonna shove this in a hole and be right back. Okay, that took a little bit longer than anticipated, but potentially worth it in the end. The biggest problem is gonna be if there's a big old ocean in between here and the base, which it looks like there is. So that's a wee bit of a problem, because getting villagers across that is going to be difficult is one way of putting it, if not impossible. So I'm wondering if I have to simply possibly just go the route of how much time do we have left in the day? It's still rising. Okay. Instead of, because this would require a massive bridge to take them to the other village. It might be easier in the long run, or the short term, to get the villagers at their current village and just build around them. But I would really like to be able to use that other base that I developed so heavily. It is a conundrum, because this would be a massive bridge I'd have to build. And that's not something I'm particularly excited for. Wonder how soon I'll be running into land that I've encountered before. I have seen a hilly or extreme hills biome before, but I'm not sure if this is the one that I explored a while ago on the map. I guess there is one way of finding out, and that's by opening the map, which it's actually a good thing that I had. Alright, not on it yet. But let's go ahead and hit up some land here. Put a little marker. Marker. And we're going that way. Ish. It's more like that way, but whatever. Okay, so small little island here. Let's go ahead and hop back in a boat. And and hit up the sea again. Still going at this angle, because I'm pretty sure that's where base might be. Hoping to hit some sort of familiar land at some point. The one disadvantage with my mapped journey is I wasn't very prone to set up markers. So unless I come up on the map, I'm not going to be able to find my way back to the villager base very easily. And it still looks like I'm... Yeah, that jungle doesn't look particularly familiar anyway, so... We're just going to keep going at this angle and hope I don't overshoot or anything. With this map, in theory, I shouldn't. But, if I skim along the top of it or something, then that would put us in a bit of a pickle. I guess worst case scenario, I can always turn around following the general angle and go from there. I'm just really hoping to pop up on this map. Don't know how far it's going to be though, so that's a general problem. But that's 2 islands we've hit up now. Ugh. Yeah, getting these villagers back is not going to be easy. It might even be worth just transporting everything over. That's going to take forever. And I'm going to have to rebuild everything. Not excited for that prospect. But also, you know, slowly bringing the villagers over isn't a super exciting prospect either, especially with this huge, relatively large, I guess it's not huge, but this relatively large ocean bit here. Yeah, we're not showing up on the map yet. But I'm going to go ahead and hit up this island, and I might have to stay on it, since it's sort of nearing nighttime. Alright, so we came from that general direction. Just pretty much going at an angle. Alright, yeah, just go ahead and set a torch down so I can relight stuff. Might as well grab this clay while I'm here. Yep, and there's the typical torch going out. Pressure me into water. Don't drown. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. It's going to be a bit of a struggle bus. Let me up. Okay. Could have been worse. Let's try to fill that back in. Get some dirt. Alright, cool. Yeah, so I guess with that, I'm going to wait until daylight. Probably cook up some of these. And, I guess I will see you on the next day. Toodaloo! Okay, so actually 2 Minecraft days later, because it started raining for an entire day. And, of course, it was a red moon. But, you know, this little island was relatively safe. But we're gonna resume the journey on the water here. Heading the same general angular direction that we've been going before. Hoping to encounter some mainland that I've seen before. But, yeah, this is gonna take a lot of work if I'm just gonna guide those villagers across this expanse. Maybe I just do something where I create a tunnel network to and from these villages with a minecart system in between to make it faster, and then I just have the original village become my resource mining area. And whenever I need to trade with the other villager, I just do a back and forth. Not sure which is better. I mean, a day at sea here is, I assume, hundreds of blocks, and being at an angle, that's a little bit more difficult to build. So that means the difficulty level and time and resource investment is quite significant. This is not an insubstantial ocean sitting between my spawn, or not spawn, my villager outpost and the newly discovered desert village. It's definitely a hefty distance. I guess I could carve a mine out, and that might be faster in its own way. In theory, I wouldn't have to worry about building over water, and I could travel at night too. The biggest difficulty would be making sure I have the correct amount of distance. Yeah, because without any sort of landmarks, I'd have to keep popping up to the surface sort of thing to check where I am, and there's no guarantees there either, unless I built a series of maps to try to guide me. It's a tough decision, but you know, I am open to feedback if anybody's watching this in time to give feedback before I continue work one direction or another. I'm definitely open to input, suggestions, ways that people have tried to solve my problem in the past, etc. I'm definitely willing to give it a try. And maybe it's just as simple as, well, you just gotta build a new base. Maybe that's the solution. Or expand the base that already or move the base that already exists to the new land. Maybe that's a thing. Alright, let's check the map. Nope, nothing yet. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go this direction around this peninsula sort of thing. We're back in I've seen these sort of hills before. It was definitely to the northwest. Ooh. Okay, I might recognize this outcropping. Was that on the map? Hey, there we are. We made it. Sweet. I'm pretty glad I have this map now. So that means I'm a hop, skip, and a jump away from the base. Which is good, because resource-wise, I mean, I guess I'm not hurting for food. Food I'm mostly fine on. But that's mostly because a lot of this was sailing, which is very low on the resource requirements. Like I was saying, building a tunnel would be nice, but difficult. Yeah, I gotta go around this way. Mostly because I don't know the exact distance that I went one way or the other. It might be easiest to, instead of a diagonal tunnel, do an L shape following the path I went in the nether. That might be safest, because I'm pretty sure you can't take villagers into the nether, otherwise they'll turn into witches. And I'm pretty sure there's no way back from that. So that's not a direction that I would like to take. But this will be home pretty soon here. Let's go ahead and hop out, and we'll be back at base. Well, after going over some hills, but you get the point. We're back, which is good. So I'm gonna head over to the base there, do a revitalization of my tools. I guess I don't have much in the way of experience points that I can easily re-enchant with high-level enchantments, a pickaxe and whatnot, but I will be able to do a little something. So let's go ahead and I'll be back when I am re-equipped and whatnot. Okay, so after a wee bit of time, I went and reforged these pickaxes and shovels. Haven't bothered with enchanting them yet, since I don't have a full experience bar, which I'd really, at this point, I think only be able to get by going out and hunting mobs and whatnot. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop into the Nether and count how many blocks it is from my portal to the other portal that popped out by the village. That way I can obtain, at least in one direction, a sense of how far I need to go. I think I am going to proceed with the tunnel idea, and I want to do that because it represents the, as far as I see, easiest way to get the villagers back here. I do want to get the villagers back to this base. It's so much more developed, and it would take so much time to rebuild, and I just really... Oh yeah, that's right. I need to get a hopper over here with the soul sand in it, so I can actually take that experience. Anyway, I want to get them back here because this is the better village. It's going to take me so much more time to rebuild, and I don't want to have to rebuild because that's just repetition. I would rather have an adventure of getting those villagers over here through tunnels and whatnot, because that'll be interesting, right? It's at least something. So I'm going to go ahead, go get that count. That'll give me a rough estimate of how far I need to tunnel underground in one direction. And then from there is another battle entirely, because I have no good way of knowing how many blocks I went from that portal in this direction towards the base, since I know I did an angle. Yeah, best guess that I could do is try to make another portal closer to it, and then have an idea that way. Multiply times 8, and then I could find the lengthwise angle, and I could make a tunnel that just goes straight there. But I'm going to first go get a count from one tunnel to the next. So I will be back once I have a count from this portal to the other portal. And then I will update with that number and go from there. So, see you in a minute. Okay, so the final count is 395. So, if we take that times the 8 blocks that you have in the overworld, that's going to be 3,160 blocks that I need to go in this direction in the overworld, which I think is west. So then, the next step is I can go ahead and tunnel through the Nether this way, and then create a portal, trying to get as close to that village as possible. I think that's going to be a nice way of getting an idea of how far I need to tunnel in the overworld, because I think that's what I'm going to go with. Before I actually start that work, I'm going to cut the episode, I think. One way or another. So between episodes, so maybe a day, maybe 2 days, go ahead and put in the comments which way you think I should go, be it building the new base, building up the new base, transporting the villagers to the old base. I am interested in your opinions. So I'm going to go ahead and at the very least work on getting this nether tunnel close to that village, and I'll be back. And a fair amount of building and rebuilding portals later, it looks like I made it back to the village here. So now I have at least a faster way to get there and back. And I have a bunch of netherrack, which I'm not going to do much with right now, and I'm pretty sure that that should be far enough from the village to not affect any of the villagers. How However, I of course forgot to bring diamonds or emeralds, but that doesn't quite matter because that's not the priority yet. It would be nice to be able to condense them into one building or two before moving them, but that is where I'm going to cut the episode here. We have a nice little way to get me back and forth between the two outposts quickly and easily. The next step is to make a way for these villagers to get there. So go ahead, like I said, put it in the comments, let me know which way you think I should go, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks for tuning in.